What's going on, y'all? DTDangerZone here. I am back for the millionth time, but who's really counting anyway? All that matters is that I am back to bring you good stuff and foolishness. I've been trying to get into streaming for a while now from my PlayStation 5, but I've really been on and off because when it irritates me, I just go on a hiatus for a week, for 2, for a month, for 3. Who really knows? It is what it is. But to start the year off, I wanted to give you a rundown of streaming directly from the PlayStation 5 with all the needed accessories. I'm going to give you a general overview of it before I give my opinion of it, because otherwise you'll really just think I'm just shitting on Sony when I don't mean to be. Let's start with the hardware because that is the easiest thing to go through. Alright, so not only did I have the PlayStation 5 and the controller, of course, what else can you do? Maybe the keyboard, but that's not my style. But I also got the Pulse 3D wireless headphones and the HD camera, so let's real quick run through those. Lightning speed, breathtaking immersion, stunning games, but at least that's what the website tells you. It's just the PlayStation 5. It's a great console, but the system is the system. Everyone has seen it, the bulkiness, the stats and all. At this point, the only difference between mine and someone else's might be the SSD that I had to add to it, because everyone knows the hard drive size is so small. Otherwise, it's just a PlayStation. Same with the controller. Everyone knows about it. However, honestly, I just turn the haptic feedback off in every game I start. It's really a nuisance. I don't like it unless it's like one of the random PlayStation games that doesn't really matter. Now the camera is a 1080p with dual wide angle lens. I don't really know what that means. It's just a PlayStation camera. I just thought it would be simple to grab and go with, and it was relatively cheap. It can be posted on any monitor like any other webcam can. It's just not built for like camera stands. There's no like screw at the bottom to like prop up on one of the typical camera stands that you would see anywhere else. Then the Pulse 3D wireless headphones are noise canceling with dual hidden microphones, and they come with both wireless USB adapter and a 3.5mm audio jack, so you can just tune into the party wirelessly or wire-based based on your setup. And my monitor, I go between my 75-inch TV or my MSI gaming monitor, depending on if I really feel like moving my system between my office or my living room. It really just depends on how I feel. This only matters in one case, and we'll get back to that. That's a little bit of a con, but it's probably a con because I wasn't too smart about it. Now the hardware is cool and all, but everyone already knows that, so let's really get into the good stuff. The software and how everything comes together. Let's start with the camera software. Now the camera is pretty good quality, but has way more features that they really don't advertise. You can see a lot of the options on the screen as I run through these. You can change the size, the effects, the brightness, the contrast, the transparency, and the shape of your video all through the system with these. They also have this mask that I don't really know much about, but it seemed cool, and I never used it aside from these recordings, so you can definitely have fun with that. While streaming, you also have quick access to a number of these settings if ever you needed to change them while playing the game. In general, not only can you connect to Twitch or YouTube, but there's also an overlay option that allows you to view the chat and new viewers while you're streaming. So it'll pop up on your screen as you're playing, and you'll easily be able to check that stuff out without looking at a second screen. The PS5 can also read your chat for you. Now, I'd assume this isn't perfect, especially for words that can be pronounced in different ways, Or if your chat is shorthanding certain stuff and such, probably for emojis as well, because you know everybody uses those. Through my testing, it definitely pronounced record as record. So you'd have to be mindful of what people are saying in the context that you're listening to stuff. But otherwise, it's still there if you ever wanted to use it. Now, with the gist of streaming down packed, let's get into the cons. And there are a lot of them. Now let's start with the hardware of the camera itself. With all the controls for the camera, there is no zoom. You just can't zoom in and out and refocus it. You really have to play with the controls to really get it where you want. So there you can finesse a zoom of sorts, but there's no easy way to just zoom in, zoom out, focus, unfocus, or anything like that. So you have this option of refocus on your face, but that zooms all the way out, and sometimes you might not want the background, or at least as much of the background in your video than there is. Not only that, but the camera is only able to be used on a console. After I don't know how long it's been out, the camera still doesn't have the driver software to use it on any type of computer, not Mac or PC. I'd assume it would be so simple to just make it. But however, I mean, Sony just hasn't done it. I don't know what's going on. If you plan on streaming long term and moving over to a PC or any type of computer, you'd really have to get a new camera so that way you can connect that camera to the computer and really have better control of it. Now, for the headphones, as good quality as they are in terms of the hearing, for some reason, as you can tell in my headphones are busted. The leather is coming off, and every once in a while the microphone would just beep, or like the headphones would just beep like several times consecutively, as if I'm muting and unmuting my headphones back to back to back to back to back. And then after probably like 7 beeps or so, it'll just go back to normal like nothing happened. But this really interrupts my gaming, especially when there's sound intensive games that I'm playing, or if I need to hear my teammates or anything of the sort. Now all of this may be a manufacturing issue where I just got the bad pair, but I've yet to really be able to get in contact with them to really figure it out and maybe exchange them or anything. I honestly just bought some new ones, not these, but a whole different set of headphones just to get done with it and have a better situation. Now, for the software, when you broadcast, you have to allow it to record your microphone. Now, this is understandable. That's fine and dandy. But anyone you play with in the party also has to allow your stream to capture their audio. And you may think, okay, that's understandable. But the issue is that's in completely different menus. It is only accessible when you're in a party, in a group chat, in a group party through the PlayStation. Now, this may even be party specific because we've had to, me and my group of friends that usually play have to recheck this box every once in a while when there may be a major update, especially to the party settings and such. And we have a recording or such that just doesn't have someone's audio. And this is such a hassle because if you forget to, you may lose some good content. But I mean, if you're streaming, you'll catch it relatively quickly once you check your stream, maybe for 5 seconds, or have like an admin or such check your stream, and you'll be able to really quickly check it. But it's still really annoying. Now this may not be a PlayStation issue, but I really wish I could hear the game chat and the party chat simultaneously without going into the game chat and removing myself from the party chat, if that makes sense. Now, currently, you can only do one at a time. So if you're in game chat, you can hear everyone else. You can hear your party if they're in the game chat, or if the other way around. If you're in party chat, you can hear the party and not the game chat. But I think this is really an issue for games to handle. So that's where I think it's not a PlayStation issue. If game chat was clearer, I would be more inclined to just use the game chat. Just have everyone join the game and we talk through that. But game chats like Call of Duty sometimes is just garbage or so cluttered that you have to just mute everyone except who you're playing with. And it's really annoying because sometimes good content could come from your surroundings. Like everyone else that's playing, anyone else, like those third party players could be absolutely hilarious and fun to play with, but it's just annoying to deal with. And just for a few general things, the camera is on my screen all the time. Just like what you see on the stream, that's what I see on my screen. And I didn't know this was an issue until I really started playing games that relied on you being able to see, well, me being able to see my entire screen. You don't necessarily have to. I just have to be able to react to everything on my screen. And in competitive SPS games, it really requires you to see your entire screen. Even though I want to use the camera, I have to hide it sometimes from my point of view, especially when I'm trying to play a game like Rainbow Six Siege or Need for Speed or something like that, where maybe I need to see if there's a cop car next to me in Need for Speed, or if, hey, maybe there's an enemy next to me in Rainbow Six. That just creates so many problems that it's just annoying. And then, aside from the camera specifically, whenever you interact, or whenever I interact with anything outside of the game, so that is the PlayStation Quick menu or the PlayStation Home menu, my stream itself is altered. If I look at the Quick menu, my camera goes away for my viewers and myself. It is just hidden until I get rid of the Quick menu. As well as that, when I exit a game, all my streamers see is a blue screen with like a rotating little thing to say basically like I'll be back kind of thing. But I can't change that screen, and I can't do anything about the camera setup or anything like that when I go into the Quick menu. Oh, they can hear my microphone, so I can keep my viewers kind of up to date with what's going on. The PS5 doesn't allow you to really broadcast or record the PlayStation menu screens at all. If you don't have a game started, you can't even start a stream. You have to be within the game to start the broadcast. One other issue is you are just stuck with what you have. You can't add overlays, you can't add other screens and videos like other professional streamers. You can't change what what your viewers see compared to what you see. You can't move your camera a certain way or anything fancy. You're stuck with what they give you. You can't browse the web. If your viewers put a link in the chat, you can't access that. You can't share something from the web to your viewers like other streamers do. I think that's like IRL or something like that, where somebody will be playing a game with another monitor up and they'll just drag something over so that the viewers can see. Whether it's like, I know Tim the Tatman, they'll show cars and tattoos. I know Destiny will show like statistics, videos, anything that he's commenting on, anything like that. But you can't do any of that. You're stuck on the system, and that's just how it is. And lastly, for the cons, and I'm not even sure this should be a con, but more of a lesson learned. When I play on my 75 inch and then move over to my monitor, there's an aspect ratio that is noticeable from stream to stream. So the video will really be scaled down or up based on what I'm playing. So the menus or little items in the game that's more on the sides and the corners and such are really scaled down or up based on which way I'm going. Now, this isn't really an issue with them. It's really an issue with me. Sometimes I'm just lazy and don't want to move. It's just, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. I mean, it's not really a them problem. It's a me problem. I get it. I am the problem. I am the chaos. But that was just a noticeable thing that I definitely had to learn the hard way. Really the hard way. But that's just the last thing. That's the last con. Even though it might not be a con, it just is a thing. It is what it is. Now, to start off with the pros, let's start with that software. I didn't find that chat reader early enough until making this video, but I thought this could be insanely convenient for smaller streamers with a few people commenting through their chat, so you don't have to go back and forth with reading from a computer next to you or reading from your phone to really keep up with that. Like, just having the chat on your screen or having it read to you just makes life so much easier. And when it's read to you, it even shortens it on your screen if you want to do both at the same time. So that way, maybe you miss like a word or two in the first part, you can just glance back over at it, check what it said, and go right back to gaming and talking to your peoples. But that was like, I think that is the biggest pro. That is kind of small, but like really not. Like, that's great. It just blew my mind that was there, and I did not see it at all. But by all means, it's probably limited to certain languages, so it is what it is. Now, the headphones are really nice because you can toggle whether or not you can hear the party chat or game audio with really just a click of a button or two. So that way, if you do need to switch over to game chat, let's say you went in the gulag and you gotta talk to your teammate, click the PlayStation home button, go up to the party, hit options, go to game chat. You're right into it. Not too many buttons, really good if you remember the button layout or set up your home or your quick menu the way you want, the way you can get to stuff quickly, because that is changeable. Is perfect for that kind of situation. And in general, the headphones just feel and sound great. I've never had any other issues with them except these minor things that aren't really minor, but I think it's just a me issue. Sony really knows how to make good headphones, and they're worth buying when playing sound intensive games like Call of Duty or Rainbow Six or anything else that you just really want to hear great audio from. And in general, the biggest pro that I would have to say is that everything just starts. Like, the biggest pro is that it is easy to just start streaming. You can connect your Twitch or your YouTube and just start immediately. Since everything is from Sony or PlayStation specifically, it all works together seamlessly, and all of the settings are pretty well organized and consolidated, except that one party chat feature. This also means you don't have too many things like a PC, a capture card, extra wiring for headphones, and so forth and so forth. So it is a cleaner setup to do it all with PlayStation stuff, because the PlayStation just captures everything for you. All you need is the video. As soon as you get the camera, you're good to go. And that also means you could really just move your setup with ease. Like I said before, I would move my PlayStation 5 between locations depending on how I feel. This is still a little side project for me, so I'm not really confined to my office. I really like playing on my big screen when I'm just playing for myself, especially when it's like a really good quality game like a God of War, or I don't know, even Need for Speed. Which one did I just play? Need for Speed, not Rivals. Wow, I can't even remember. Even like a Need for Speed, like the video quality is so good, it's just nice to see it on a big screen. So if I want to just go over to my big screen or go over to my PC monitor or my MSI monitor, I just have to unhook my PlayStation 5, grab my headphones, put them around my neck, grab the camera, maybe swing that around my neck with the wiring, and then grab the controller, and I'm done and out. Plug my PlayStation back up, maybe my camera if I'm using it, and then I'm done. That maneuverability is so great for like the casual streamer. If you really don't want to do this much, if you're not doing a day-to-day, and sometimes you just want to, hey, maybe you got a trip outside the state, outside your city. I'm in a hotel and I got to stream from an apartment or Airbnb or a hotel. Grab your PlayStation, grab your headphones, and grab your controller, and you stream it wherever you want to be. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, just for my last comments, I might have a lot of cons and not too many pros, but you have to understand that streaming from a PlayStation itself is a pro, period. Just simple fact of the matter. I've never had major issues with something really not working as intended. It's really just plug and play. I've never been confused about how something works, and the software has plenty of starter features. The PS5 is a beast for gaming, but really a toddler for streaming, but it's really just for the hobbyist of a streamer. It's not really meant for the pro streamer like a Destiny, a TimTapMan, Dr. Disrespect, Zlander. All of those guys aren't using this setup. They're using more professional equipment, probably that they're sponsored by anyway. But for the price of the camera and the headphones, this is great quality. They are definitely worth buying if you're just making this a hobby and understand the limits of them. That is the big thing. Understand their limits, understand how far you want to take this, and move from there. Overall, I absolutely give it an A for effort. This is really good for people who don't want to make it a full-time, but really just want to play around with it in a cheap and convenient manner. Recently, I've really started looking at how other streamers do it and moving towards getting a better equipment and a better setup. Recently purchased the Elgato HD 60S Plus capture card and an Elgato camera just to record and stream on my PC or my Mac and see how that handles everything. Compared to just simply plug and play that the PS5 was and hit and broadcast, this whole process has just been a little bit more expensive and a little bit more time consuming with troubleshooting. I actually had to switch out which capture card I was using because I got a Riptide or Ripwire or Rip something, I can't even remember what it was, but it did not work the way I wanted to. The software for it was just so heavy on my computer. It was annoying. It was making my computer hot. It was just too much. So compared to all this stuff that I'm going through, this was a great setup in terms of simplifying it, in terms of making it cheap, cost efficient for beginners who aren't really looking to really make a career out of it. But we'll see what happens next, honestly. But that's all for now. I'll definitely be making more videos and going back to streaming regularly. I still have a lot of things in mind for the channel that I'm really trying to get out and get done without tiring myself out. Definitely stay tuned for the next streams and videos because it only gets better from here. Until next time, don't forget, stay happy, stay healthy, and last but not least, stay focused. See ya.
Say what one more time? I dare you. I double dare you.